very good evening to you. Namaskara. Thank you for joining us this evening. You're joining us on this special broadcast live from Bengaluru. We are right outside the seat of power in Karnataka, the Vidhana Saudha. The entire fight that's playing out is for the chief ministerial post. Siddaramaiah has been the chief minister for 2.5 years. Is there going to be a change or not? I'm Pratibha, and in the course of the next few minutes, we're going to break down why this is a difficult decision for the High Command. Why is it that the High Command is unable to decide between Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar, and what is going to be the fallout if they decide to go by status quo, that is Siddaramaiah continuing as the chief minister, versus if they decide to have DK Shivkumar as the chief minister. Anytime any of the leaders are asked when will this decision be taken, because remember, these speculations have been going on for a long time, and now it has reached a point where the war of words is out in the open. DK Shivkumar taking a dig, reminding the High Command, keep your word. Siddaramaiah responding, saying it's not just about keeping a word, but it's also about service to the people of Karnataka. So these digs at each other have become out in the open. So it's clear that DK Shivkumar has made it amply clear to the High Command that he is done with his patience. What's going to happen next? When will this decision be taken? And are we going to see a repeat of what we have seen previously, where the High Command really dilly-dallies on a decision on two big leaders in a state, losing out on one big leader? What could be the fallout? We explain all of that. First up, listen in to how all the leaders in Karnataka actually believe that the key to the rebellion in Karnataka lies with the High Command.
See, that is in the hands of High Command.
My party High Command will take a call at the right time.
Ultimately, High Command has to take a decision.
Is there a delay, sir, on behalf of the High Command in deciding?
They will intervene at the right time when it is necessary. Congress was, is and will be united.
All right, we have breaking updates now coming in on the question of what next in Karnataka. When will the rebellion actually be solved? Sources are telling Times now that the deadlock will be broken only after Sonia Gandhi returns from abroad. So Sonia Gandhi is returning tonight. So senior leaders want to take this rebellion to Sonia Gandhi, which means that they will be taking her opinion. The leadership issue in Karnataka will be discussed with Sonia Gandhi, and only then will any other decision be taken. So on Sunday, the High Command will be meeting at 5 p.m. a meeting scheduled between Sonia Gandhi, Mallikarjun Kharge, Rahul Gandhi as well as KC Venugopal, and a decision will only be taken then. My colleague Imran is getting us this inside scoop on the Congress's next step. So Imran, it's clear that the suspense is going to continue for now. The High Command will only meet on Sunday. They're waiting for Sonia Gandhi's return from abroad.
Well, absolutely. This is what information we're getting from Congress sources, that Sunday 5 p.m. is a meeting called the parliamentary meeting of the Congress party. Board meeting has been called, and in which several issues will be discussed. As we all know that the parliament session is going to start from first. In that, one crucial discussion is about Karnataka, and after that, indeed, Rahul Gandhi will be there, Sonia Gandhi will be there, Priyanka Gandhi will be there, APC President Mallikarjun Kharge will be there, along with its state in charge Surjewala, and they will discuss after the parliamentary meeting, committee meeting. They will discuss specifically on Karnataka, and after that, senior leaders will be called. What we're getting to know is that either 3rd of December or 4th of December, they will be called to Delhi to discuss and resolve the crisis, what has been brewing for almost 8 months now in Karnataka. In the past 2 weeks, it has picked up full momentum, where there was no semblance of High Command. There was absolutely chaos within the ranks of the Congress party, where ministers and MLAs are flying to Delhi, trying to meet the High Command, and especially supporters of DK Shivkumar was trying to pressurize the High Command to listen to their voices and appoint DK Shivkumar as the next chief minister, saying that he has been equally contributed for the party, but the party High Command has not recognized his contribution so far. Now we saw that so many of bites, counter bites, one camp which is against camp, Sidda camp, DK Shivkumar camp, CM phase, Dalit phase, OBC leader should be chief minister. All this is, what the breakfast and lunch meetings, dinner meetings will finally come to a hand. Hopefully people of Karnataka feel that on Sunday the meeting will be discussed, and by 3rd or 4th the crisis will be resolved. because very important that the session is going to start from 8th of December in Karnataka. It will go until 20th, and people of Karnataka and also the MLAs of Congress are eagerly waiting who will be the Chief Minister. Whether Chief Siddaramaiah will continue or DK Shivakumar will be the Chief Minister who will lead the session in Belagavi.
Okay, but Imran, can you give us a sense of what the High Command is really looking at and why this is such a difficult decision for the High Command? DK Shivakumar has made it clear that he is not happy with the situation and the disgruntlement is now seen in the fore. But on the other hand, and you have Siddaramaiah as well, who is flexing muscle and saying that I have the support of people and I have governance on my side. So, for the High Command, waiting not just for Rahul Gandhi to come in, but also Sonia Gandhi to step in, shows very clearly that despite multiple visits of Mallikarjun Kharge, the Congress party has not been able to resolve the issue.
Well, Pratibha, we just have to step back from just looking at this, Siddaramaiah or DK Shivakumar, because if you look at the High Command would like to see a larger picture as to what, not just the two warring factions, but also the party and also the party going to elections 2028. Let me not also forget the background, the 4 states which are going for elections, in which 2 are southern states, where is Tamil Nadu and Kerala, and also we have Assam, very important state for Congress as far as concerned. Then there is West Bengal. So larger repercussions of it, this state, how will it impact? All this will be taken into account. I mean, in a backdrop also, if you pull back in 2 years back, now the alliance between JDS and BJP is also interesting, because we have already the Vakkaliga and the Lingayat vote consolidation in this both the parties now. So what will be left if the Congress also goes to Vakkaliga? What will upset, whether the OBCs will be upset there, and especially the SC/ST communities, they will feel that DK Shivakumar in some ways had rubbed them in the wrong side. In fact, if you remember, DK Shivakumar stopped when the Dalit ministers wanted to meet them, have a dinner meet, and he was responsible for stopping that. And also Ramesh Jarkali episode, some of the ST leaders feel that DK Shivakumar has let down the SC and ST communities. So in the backdrop of it, OBC, this forms a core base of Congress. Whether Congress ended up losing by removing Siddaramaiah, it will be a bigger concern for High Command. So it's not just about 2 leaders or shifting one chief minister to another, but also very important is to look at Congress larger context of the state 2028 elections, and also the state which are going for elections now.
Okay, all right. So looking at what could happen in Kerala and Tamil Nadu, the bigger fallout of any decision that's taken here, but many also believe that the High Command is weakened after the Bihar drubbing, and that's also one of the reasons why DK Shivakumar is exerting that pressure on the High Command. We have more breaking updates now coming in amid the hectic parleys that have been taking place in Bengaluru and of course in the national capital as well. Breaking updates now coming in. The Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivakumar has announced that he will definitely be going to Delhi. He has in fact gone on to say that Delhi will guide us. So he has put the onus completely on High Command, saying that it is our temple and the final decision is going to be taken in Delhi. Interestingly, he also went on to say, and this comes at a time when many Vakkaliga seers are saying that they want DK Shivakumar to be the Chief Minister. DK Shivakumar saying that I don't have one particular community, the entire Congress community is my community.
Definitely I'll go to Delhi, because Delhi is our temple. Delhi is our temple, we have to go there. All of us are, without Delhi, nothing can go. Congress party is a party with a big history, and always Delhi will guide us. We may rule here. Ultimately, we have a policy contained to the whatever the policies of the Congress party and the constitution. We have to work by that. So we will go to Delhi whenever they call me and the party leaders, including my chief minister. We will go there. I don't want any of community angle. I have my own angle. My community is Congress community. Congress is my community. They, of course, I may belong to one community, they may like me. That is different. My love is there to all sections of the society. It may be a backward class, it may be a scheduled caste, it may be a minority, everyone.
So, all right, let's go across to my colleague Neha Hebale for that update. And Neha, very clearly, DK Shivkumar has always maintained that Delhi is the temple and the High Command is the final word on what could happen next. At the same time, of course, he has also hinted that everyone should keep their word. So, any word on when DK Shivkumar is expected to go to Delhi, or whether there has been any communication? Because Rahul Gandhi did, in fact, keep him waiting when DK Shivkumar wanted to meet him.
Well, Pratibha, of course, DK Shivkumar playing it, quite safe here. Remember, after that post, after the social media post that he had put out saying that word power is world power, that hadn't gone down very well with a few senior Congress leaders in the High Command. And now, of course, you have the Deputy Chief Minister here reiterating that he would go to Delhi whenever he is called. Now, so far, officially, of course, given that he's reacted as recent as a few hours ago now, he's so far not mentioned when he would be going to Delhi, but sources within the Congress party informing us right now that he's likely to go down to Delhi, possibly, of course, before the 4th of December. With this being said, it really remains to be seen right now as to what exactly happens with that meeting. DK Shivkumar there, of course, going on to say that Delhi is his temple, that he would, of course, go whenever he is called. We'll really, of course, have to wait and see. One thing that we do know is that he has been lobbying support here from several Vokaliga MLAs and seers as well. A whole host of prayers that are being held across the state now for him to be made the Deputy Chief Minister as well. Chief Minister, I beg your pardon.
Okay, is it now completely left to the High Command, or as some supporters believe, is it completely left to divine intervention, which is why we are seeing prayers being offered everywhere? Let's open this up, talk about why this is such a difficult decision for the High Command. Joining us on the broadcast is Syed Aslam Pasha, political analyst, and Mohan Vishwa, BJP spokesperson. At the heart of this entire problem is two things. One is the drubbing in Bihar and the upcoming elections in Tamil Nadu, Puducherry as well as Kerala in 2026. The second, of course, the backlash of the communities in Karnataka if any change is made or if status quo is maintained. So I want to ask you, Mr. Syed Aslam Pasha, when is this decision going to be taken? Because for the Congress party, we've seen the fallout when a decision of such dilly-dallying has happened in multiple states. Senior leaders of the party have left because the High Command couldn't make the decision. So how long will this continue?
Well, Pratibha, I think we all should know in Karnataka, the people of Karnataka and the Kannadigas have given a thumping majority to the Congress with 135 seats. And of course, Congress has got the mandate thumping majority because of a powerful combination of Siddaramaiah ji and Mr. DK Shivkumar. Of course, Siddaramaiah ji being a mass leader, and DK Shivkumar with his excellent organizational skills, and he's an able leader. So with this combination, Congress has got 135 seats. Now, I think when the people have already given the mandate, it is completely up to the High Command to decide, if there has to be a change, or Siddaramaiah ji has to continue for 5 years, or it has to be a 2.5 years, shift to DK Shivkumar.
Yes,
that's completely left. That's completely left with the
is taking a back seat. That's the accusation, because they've got the mandate, yes, but it is for governance, and unfortunately that takes a back seat because of this fight that's playing out time and again. The only news we get out of Karnataka is that this power tussle goes on. We have some breaking updates now coming in. You mentioned it is the High Command that will take that final decision, and now it looks like DK Shivkumar is going to be in the national capital. In fact, in breaking updates coming in, we're told DK Shivkumar could reach the national capital this evening. Now, remember, the last time DK Shivkumar was in Delhi, he could not get an audience with Rahul Gandhi. Will it be any different this time around? My colleague Neha Hebale is on the broadcast. So, Neha, it's clear now, this evening DK Shivkumar is heading to the national capital. Any word on whether any meeting is scheduled? Because the previous time he visited Delhi, Rahul Gandhi didn't meet him. Are meetings scheduled for this time around, this meeting?
Well, Pratibha, highly placed sources within the Congress party have confirmed now to Times Now that DK Shivkumar is likely to be reaching Delhi later this evening, is what's being said. Now, as far as those particular meetings there are concerned, of course, we would have clarity on that only after the return of Sonia Gandhi, of course, tonight. Remember, of course, even as you have the Deputy Chief Minister likely to be reaching Delhi later this evening. It's going to be quite interesting over here to see what kind of developments take place. Remember, Mallikarjun Kharge just yesterday, while speaking to us, had very clearly said that yes, there is going to be a meeting that's going to be held in the presence of Rahul Gandhi, in his presence as well as in the presence of other senior leaders, the Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister. All in all, of course, it's going to be a hectic day of political developments in Bengaluru and possibly later through the evening in Delhi as well.
Okay, all right. Neha, thank you for joining us with that update. Mr. Mohan Vishwa, tonight DK Shivakumar is again going to Delhi. The question being, do people of Karnataka really deserve this? Because DK Shivakumar, now for the second time in a week, is going to the national capital. Before that, it was the Chief Minister who visited wanting a cabinet expansion. What's happening?
See, Pratima, like as you rightly pointed out, the governance is at stake in state from past 2.5 years. See, this power tussle is not from today or yesterday. It is there from the day one of inception of this government. If I remember, it's somewhere in May 2023 when they got 136 mandate. You know, the tussle started who should become the Chief Minister. Siddaramaiah went to Delhi, then came back, then DK Shivakumar was here, he went there. You know, there was a lot of power tussle went on initially itself. So from that day onwards until now, if you see, at least once in a week or twice in a week, the MLAs from either of the side will come out and speak with respect to their leaders or against their leaders. This is what is happening. There is nobody in the state today who speaks for the farmers who are protesting in Belgaum. They are in need of MSP. And there is nobody in the state who speaks for the farmers in Davangere. They are in need of MSP. And also there is a judgment of Supreme Court which came in favor of the Mekedatu project, which is also in favor of the farmers. So there is nobody like DK Shivakumar, who himself is the irrigation minister.
Development is taking a backseat. That's a criticism, and often that's the same criticism that the Congress party puts on the centre. But we have some breaking update now coming in, and this is an important update because this is a reality check for those who have been claiming it's a dead economy. The GDP growth has beaten estimates. India's Q2 GDP growth is at 8.2%. So the economy is thriving and India remains a bright spot. So the real GDP has been estimated to grow by 8.2% in the second quarter of the financial year 2025-26 against the growth rate of 5.6%. My colleague Hina is on the broadcast with us with the details. And Hina, this really should come as a wake-up call to many who have been calling the Indian economy a dead economy.
Well, it should be a wake-up call to everybody because this is beyond expectations. It has exceeded the expectations of most analysts in India who were carefully looking forward to this GDP data today for the second quarter of the current financial year. It has exceeded everybody's expectations because even the Reserve Bank of India, Pratibha, had expected this number to be around just 7%. But last time, in the first quarter of this year, the GDP growth came in at 7.8%. That was a big news. And now we have crossed that level as well to 8.2% in the second quarter. Now, this is a phenomenal number that we've got, and it is much higher than what we saw last year in the same quarter at 5.6%. If you compare this number to the last, few quarters, then this is the highest GDP data that we've got in the last 6 quarters. And it clearly shows that, whatever might be the external pressure point or the geopolitical situation that we are into, all of those are not really having a significant impact on Indian macros. Indian economy remains resilient. Now, let's also tell you a little bit about what has really led to this kind of a growth in the GDP numbers for the current quarter. Manufacturing has done really well. Manufacturing sector has seen a growth of about 9.1%. Construction activity has been really good in this quarter at 7.2%. Remember, even the GST benefits also kicked in this particular quarter, and of course construction has done really well, manufacturing has done really well, and services also has done really well. Agriculture, however, Pratibha, remained a cause of concern in this particular quarter. Agriculture lagged behind. In fact, the farm sector saw growth of just 3.5%. Overall, 8.2 number is an amazing number that we've got. We'll of course wait and see how the government is going to react to it, because most analysts had expected second quarter's GDP to be around somewhere 7.5 or maximum 7.6%. Not many were of the view that we are going to see second quarter crossing the first quarter's 7.8% mark as well. But that has happened, and it really shows how, the fundamentals are really strong. Now, this, remember, despite the fact that we are facing Trump tariffs and there are some external pressures as well that continue, and it clearly shows that our fundamentals are strong, and going forward, India will remain the fastest growing economy in the world.
Okay, that's great news, something to cheer the economy rising, and of course, the question being, will the opposition acknowledge this or not? Hina, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast and talking about the significance of it. On that note, we're slipping into a very quick break here, but welcome back to our special broadcast live from Bengaluru. We have breaking updates coming in. On one side, if you have that suspense over whether the High Command is going to take a decision on who the Chief Minister of Karnataka will be, is it going to be Siddaramaiah who will continue, or will there be a change with DK Shivkumar coming in? We have breaking updates now coming in of special prayers that are being organized. Now, special pujas being offered by the supporters of DK Shivkumar, organizing a special havan for the Deputy Chief Minister to now become the Chief Minister in Tumkuru. Now, a special ritual was conducted. My colleague Neha is joining us with that update. And Neha, very clearly, they've tried everything up until now, and it's time for divine intervention. That's what the supporters believe. Puja is being offered.
Well, that's right. Under the leadership of the MLA Raghunath here, we're seeing in Tumkuru today that rituals are being organized by supporters of the Deputy Chief Minister here, ensuring that, of course, all of this doesn't go unnoticed to the High Command. We've seen spiritual and divine intervention coming in from many quarters of the state here, Pratibha, particularly from the supporters of DK Shivkumar as well as from the supporters of CM Siddaramaiah. With all of this being said, of course, it would be quite interesting to see with the Deputy Chief Minister also now likely to be reaching Delhi later today evening or tonight as to how these particular developments that have been taking place in the state, whether it's been MLAs offering prayers, whether it's been Vokaliga Seers now making statements, batting for the DCM here, or a host of other, leaders coming out and speaking out quite openly, how all of this would impact the state of affairs in the state.
Okay, all right. It will be interesting to see how this actually plays out, because you have leaders who are making it clear that they are willing to leave it to the High Command. But when will the High Command actually decide? And Mr. Syed Aslam Pasha, is the wait getting too long that now supporters believe that the only way left is for divine intervention, because they've been waiting for a long time? There has been a lot of talk about this 2.5-year tenure as well for each.
I see any day divine intervention will certainly be with the people of Karnataka and the Kannadigas. While, just a minute back, you were talking about economy. I would want to talk about the economy. Let's not forget that Karnataka has the highest GDP across India. We are the highest tax-paying state. Karnataka is definitely flourishing and prospering in the Congress government. There's absolutely no hassle. While it comes to the decision of who has to be the Chief Minister, from now, after the 2.5 years have gone by, it is completely up to the Congress High Command and the leadership to decide who has to be the Chief Minister.
But do you think Karnataka needs this kind of confusion here? You spoke about the growth of Karnataka, but there are not just, I'm not talking about the opposition, there are leaders from within the Congress, including DK Shivkumar, who have said that there's no development because we need to fulfill guarantees.
So I don't know where did you get that. Development is of course happening. The people of Karnataka, the Kannadigas, are very happy. And of course, there are so many leaders. Congress has a democratic framework. Everyone would have aspiration. It's nothing wrong to have aspiration. But finally, the call is taken by the High Command, and they would decide who has to be the Chief Minister. The people of Karnataka are happy with the Congress government. The people of Karnataka are happy with both the leaders, Siddaramaiah ji and as a Deputy Chief Minister, DK Shivkumar. Let's leave the decision to the Congress High Command to take a decision on this. And of course, the hype which is being created, BJP is trying to find a needle in the haystack. They're living in a fool's paradise. They're trying to tarnish the image of the Congress.
But is the BJP doing that, Mr. Mohan? Do you believe that it's the BJP's doing that we are seeing in Karnataka?
See, Mr. K. N. Rajanna, who is a supporter of Siddaramaiah, is not from BJP. And also Shivaganga Basuraj is not from BJP. Satish Jarkioli is not from BJP. Parmeshwar is not from BJP. Come on, people are watching. It's their own camp MLAs who are coming out and fighting openly in the public. Okay, I just want to speak about the governance. Since my friend spoke about, the economics of Karnataka, let me remind him from past 2.5 years, the debt of Karnataka has increased by 3,11,000 crores under Siddaramaia's government. At the same time, they've increased the price of petrol 2 times, diesel 3 times, Nandini milk 4 times.
In fact, many now believe that to fulfill the guarantee, Siddaramaiah was having a legacy that was so important to him. He has been speaking about the Devaraj arrest record as well. But I want to bring in some breaking updates coming in. I'll come back to you in just a moment, because when you speak of what the BJP is going to do and whether this is the doing of the BJP or not, in breaking updates now coming in, the former Chief Minister of Karnataka, this is Basavaraj Bommai, who has now said that the BJP may move a no confidence motion. So is there going to be more action in Karnataka? On one hand, you have some leaders from the BJP saying that if there is any outside support needed for any faction of the Congress party, we are ready to provide it. Now, Basavaraj Bommai going on to say that we will move a no confidence motion. Neha is back with us. And Neha, in terms of numbers, there's really no threat for the Congress party. They have the numbers. So what is the BJP intending to do, bringing in a no confidence motion?
Well, Pratibha, the BJP hasn't been too far behind as far as, mocking the Congress government in the state or taking pot shots at them over a host of issues is concerned, and now going a step forward here, calling for a no confidence motion, of course, against the government here, the BJP. Remember, of course, earlier we saw how jokingly as well a statement had come in from a senior BJP leader about how they would rally support for the Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivakumar if he decides to go his own way. Of course, while, reading between the lines and the sarcasm there, now we're seeing that there's possibly a plan that the BJP here has to move a no confidence motion against the Chief Minister. But like you rightly questioned, of course, given that the Congress party as a whole, as a party, still has the adequate numbers over here that they require to be in par, what, of course, the BJP is planning in terms of a no confidence motion legally, how would that stand, of course, is something that they would have to answer.
Okay, all right. What's going to happen next? You have leaders from the Congress party who are going to the national capital, and you have such claims that have been coming in as well. Do you think, what is the BJP really looking at, bringing in a no confidence motion when they don't have the numbers?
I find it absolutely laughable. If Mr. Bommai has said this, it's absolutely laughable. Pratibha, let's not forget, when the government was formed in May 23, the BJP was not even able to find the leader of opposition for 6 months. It sounds absolutely laughable when Mr. Bommai says this, if at all he said that. I want to tell him that the Congress has got 135 MLAs plus the independents. They're going absolutely strong. They are living in fool's paradise. If they want to move the no confidence motion, they're welcome to do it. They'll be embarrassed with this no confidence motion. So there is no threat to the government. The government is going absolutely strong. There's one more point which I want to add. The government was formed in May 2023 with a social welfare agenda, right? The BJP can talk a lot about this agenda. However, let's not forget, they have replicated the same. They have copied the Congress welfare schemes in Madhya Pradesh. They have copied the welfare schemes in Delhi. They have copied the welfare schemes in Bihar. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, BJP can live in the fool's paradise. They can pick the needle from the haystack. That's completely up to them. The people of Karnataka are with the Congress. They are happy with the Congress. And I'm sure the next term also, the Congress is getting prepared for the next term.
If that was the case, then why is the High Command hesitating? Why can't the High Command immediately take a decision, either to say that Siddaramaiah continues or that DK Shivakumar will be the Chief Minister? Clearly, within the Congress party, there are a lot of ifs and buts that are still being looked at. In fact, in more breaking updates coming in a clear indication that all is actually not well, despite the Congress party claiming it time and again. You have more leaders of the Congress party who have now headed to the national capital. And remember, this morning, Priyank Kharge, the state minister, was in a meeting with DK Shivakumar, and now he is in the national capital. So he is among the other senior leaders. This evening, DK Shivakumar is headed there. BK Hariprasad, another loyalist of Siddaramaiah, also in the national capital. So Neha, what does it indicate? DK Shivakumar, BK Hariprasad, Priyank Kharge, all in the national capital.
Well, Pratibha, quite evidently, of course, the Congress party that was initially saying there's no crisis at all in the state, that all is well, of course, within their camp, is now seeing a flurry of political activity. Leaders who, of course, evidently in the past have, been seen, especially in the recent past, have been seen meeting up with the Deputy Chief Minister, have now landed in Delhi. D.K. Suresh, B.K. Hariprasad, Priyank Kharge and many others, our sources inform us, are in Delhi. And the Deputy Chief Minister also himself likely to be heading there. While all of the action is eventually, of course, going to be shifting to Delhi itself, where the final meeting is going to be held of the High Command, and a decision would be taken on what needs to be done to resolve this crisis. The political flurry in the state, of course, far from dying down right now.
Okay, all right. So, I want to ask you, on one hand, he has been saying, and that's what the Congress party has also been saying, that all is well. There's nothing to worry. D.K. Shivkumar also saying the MLAs want to be in the cabinet. That's why they're headed to Delhi. But you have the Chief Minister going to Delhi, the Deputy Chief Minister visiting Delhi multiple times. Now the top leaders of Karnataka Congress also going to the national capital. We don't know yet on whether the decision will be taken immediately.
See, if you listen to what Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge said, he said it is up to High Command to decide. What does it mean? Doesn't mean that there is a power change. That is point number one. If D.K. Shivkumar or Siddaramaiah has a confidence on their own MLAs, why D.K. Shivkumar visited the central jail in Bangalore to meet two of his MLAs? Come on, what does it show? It shows a desperation for him to have MLAs on his side. Does it not a clear indication that there is a power tussle? There will be a power distribution between the two? Come on, these are the things which is there in front of the public. Congress may lie, or Congress High Command may come out and say, they may say that, nothing is wrong, everything is perfect inside. But these are the clues which you have. So when you have these kind of things, it's very evident that they are fighting for the power on the street. As I told you initially, the government is dead from past 2.5 years. If the dead government, is holding either by D.K. Shivkumar or Siddaramaiah for next 2.5 years, it doesn't make any difference. Because the governance is dead, government is dead. Anyone can hold that.
Realistically, I want to ask you, within the Congress party, why it's so difficult to decide between D.K. Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah? Is it because of the caste equations? Is it because the High Command does not want to rock the boat ahead of the elections coming in Tamil Nadu as well as Kerala? Why is it so difficult to decide? Because I'll tell you why. In some of the other states, there have been some decisions that have led to senior leaders of the party exiting. Is that the fear?
No, sir, absolutely there is no fear. The buzz and the hype is created in the media and the opposition camp. There's absolutely no problem with the government.
No, I'm just going to Delhi.
No,
if you see D.K. Shivkumar putting out a post saying keep your word, where is the buzz? It is him creating the buzz.
The only problem is, Pratibha, my friend from the BJP, he's talking about Congress president. I don't know where is Mr. J.P. Nadda. Does anyone even listen to him? See, Congress has a democratic framework. Every leader has the opportunity to speak and show their willingness. If they want to, come into the cabinet, they have the willingness to show. But in BJP, it's not like that. Mr. Amit Shah and Mr. Modi, no other person can take a decision. Congress has a democratic framework, and everyone has an opportunity to speak and show their desire. But today, like I said, the Kannadigas and the people of Karnataka are happy with the Congress.
Is it so democratic that every leader has an aspiration to become the Chief Minister? Now, there's nothing wrong with having aspirations to be the CM. But is it governance taking a backseat? Because you have the Deputy Chief Minister saying that keep your word. This is a very clear indication to the High Command. And I'm sure you saw the Chief Minister's response. This is the most direct response to D.K. Shivkumar, where he says keeping a word is not just about, just talking about things or wordplay. It's much more than that. It's about service to the people.
No, I think the leaders in the Congress are committed with the words which have been spoken, which have been given. I think the jumlas are not given. The BJP gives the jumla and they forget it. That's not like it. In Congress, definitely if the word is given, that will be catered to. The point is very, very clear. Let's not create the hype about when the Chief Minister has to be changed. The Congress High Command has the capability, authority, and they know at the apt time whatever needs to change will change. But as of now, the people of Karnataka are happy. The Kannadigas are happy with the Congress government, and that's how it's working.
Okay, but D.K. Shivkumar himself is a Kannadiga. He himself is not happy with the way things are going.
You see, there are multiple interviews. The media has approached Mr. Shivakumar multiple times. Not even one statement he has told anything. So they are working like a powerful combination, and of course the government is going smooth. It is the media which is creating the hype and the buzz, and of course the BJP party by itself, they're living in fool's paradise.
But who's
Nothing
in a
will
fool's
shake.
paradise, Mr. Mohan? Who's in a fool's paradise? Is it the Congress High Command that thinks that even after a few days we can look at what happens? Is it the Congress party that still thinks nothing is wrong, everything is fine?
Pratima, I want to remind my friend that in your own news channel, I think 4 months back, there was a conclave which has happened somewhere in Delhi or Mumbai. In your own conclave, what did Mr. D.K. Shivakumar said? There is some sort of an arrangement. So what is that arrangement? Okay, all discussions started surrounding out about that statement from past 4 to 5 months, correct?
Yes.
Post that, there was one more interview given by Siddaramaiah to one more national news channel where he says he would like to continue for 5 years continuously. Come on, they are fighting openly across India, rather I can say, forget about Bangalore or Karnataka. So people of Karnataka, Kannadigas knows that this government is dead, governance is dead. They are not able to provide, whatever my friend said, they were happy with the guarantees and all. Come on, their own guarantee, the women's scheme which they were supposed to, send 2,000 rupees per month to women in the state. From past 6 to 8 months, not even a single rupee have gone to their account.
Okay.
The Gauri Ganesha festival is done.
No, but since you mentioned that all is well, I want to play out what D.K. Shivakumar has said, because D.K. Shivakumar, now the reason why the High Command is not too sure about having D.K. Shivakumar as the Chief Minister is also because they believe that Siddaramaiah has the backing of the Ahinda community. They don't want to rock the boat at the moment. D.K. Shivakumar has the backing of Vokkaligas, yes, but even that is split between the BJP and largely the JDS. So the Congress party is looking at the pros and cons of having D.K. Shivakumar as the Chief Minister. And interestingly, steers have come out to say that they want to see D.K. Shivakumar as the Chief Minister, which is why the Deputy Chief Minister made it clear that he doesn't just enjoy support from one particular community, but from all communities. He went on to say that he has the support of the Congress community. Here's what he said.
Definitely, I'll go to Delhi because Delhi is our temple. Delhi is our temple. We have to go there. All of us are without Delhi, nothing can go. Congress party is a party with a big history, and always Delhi will guide us. We may rule here. Ultimately, we have a policy contained to the whatever the policies of the Congress party and the constitution. We have to work by that. So we will go to Delhi whenever they call me and the party leaders, including my Chief Minister. We will go there. I don't want any of community angle. I have my own angle. My community is Congress community. Congress is my community. They, of course, I may belong to one community. They may like me. That is different. My love is there to all sections of the society. It may be a backward class. It may be a scheduled caste. It may be a minorities. Everyone.
All right, we have more breaking updates coming in. On one hand, you have D.K. Shivakumar, who is going to the national capital by this evening. Priyank Kharge is headed to Delhi. B.K. Hariprasad is headed to Delhi. And in the latest, we're getting in breaking updates coming in that Salim Ahmed, close aide of D.K. Shivakumar, is also now headed to Delhi tonight. So a lot of action shifting to Delhi, begging the question, has there been a meeting that has been scheduled or not? Interestingly, Siddaramaiah is not going to the national capital yet, but you have D.K. Shivakumar who is headed to the national capital. So Neha, are we going to see more and more leaders, and now is it turning out to be a show of strength by each side saying that we want either D.K. Shivakumar to be the Chief Minister or Siddaramaiah? Is it two camps now headed to Delhi?
Well, Pratibha, prior to this as well, we saw MLAs from the D.K. Shivakumar camp flying down to Delhi in a bid to try and meet the High Command and make their demands quite loud and clear that they want D.K. Shivakumar to be made the Chief Minister of the state. And now we're seeing that even as you have the Deputy Chief Minister himself also all set to be flying down to Delhi later today, his supporters, leaders like Mr. Salim Ahmed, Mr. D.K. Suresh, the former MP, his brother, and a host of other Congress leaders likely to be, of course, in Delhi. While some of them have reached, some of them are likely to be flying down tomorrow also, is what's being said. Now, whether, of course, this is a question of leaders and of camps rallying support for each other, Is there going to be some sort of a meeting that's now being held with these respective leaders? All of these questions, of course, that remain unanswered right now. Possibly some clarity that would come in once, of course, Sonia Gandhi reaches Delhi and once some sort of meetings begin within the party's quarters.
Okay, all right. We're told that this meeting could take place on Sunday, but even before that, the leaders seem to be going to the national capital. Is it to make a case before that big meeting of the High Command? As we wrap up, I want to take closing comments. Very quickly, what do you expect will happen, or what do you wish to see in Karnataka?
Well, like I said, everyone has the freedom and liberty to go to Delhi because it's a powerhouse.
Do you think there will be a CM change?
No, I think we should leave the decision to the Congress High Command to decide that, and the people of Karnataka are certainly waiting for I wouldn't say that we are looking for a change, but of course we should leave the option with the Congress High Command to decide. We are happy with the way it is.
What would be the best outcome according to you? What does Karnataka want? What could happen in the Congress?
See, DK Shivakumar himself in the same Vidhan Sauda said in a session 6 months back, if you're not getting the power, you have to kick and get the power. That's the word which I used literally. I'm using the same word which he said, okay? So you can imagine the kind of mindset in which he is. Like as I told you in my initial comment, it's a dead government, dead governance, nothing has happened. If it is carried by either Siddaramaiah or DK Shivakumar for next 2.5 years or someone else, third party, it doesn't make any difference for the people of Karnataka. So this government, if elections held today, Congress will not get not more than 30 seats, I'm telling you.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast with your views. A lot of action happening in Karnataka as well as in the national capital. And as always, we keep you updated with the latest on all that's happening in Karnataka and what next.